everyone, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I have a project for us today, and it's a journal, but it's a different binding method that I've used before, and I actually decided I'm going to use mine, I think, for lists. Or this might be a fun one if you wanted to have like an address book. You know how we used to have those, something like that. But let me just show you. I'm using Autumn Blush Papers by Pink Monarch Prints. And you'll see this one isn't decorated because after I put it together, I mean, we definitely could treat this as a regular junk journal because of the way I did the bow, which I love. You know, these aren't really laying that flat, but I just think this is a unique and different way to make a paper project. Now, I also used the Casa Granada Stamperia paper, the backgrounds, because I thought it coordinated really well, and I needed a 12 by 12 to cover the backing, the board. So this is really sturdy. So again, this is why I just think this is going to be so cool. I could even put this in my bag. So when I do the papers on the one we're going to make together, I'm going to do it a little differently so that the neutral is here and the pattern is on the other side. You'll see that in a minute, or when we get to that part. The other thing that is cool about this one is you can take it apart and you could put fresh paper in. So I think there's a lot of versatility to it, and I hope you like it. And anyway, it almost reminds me of a clipboard back that's decorated and pretty, but nice and sturdy. Anyway, I hope you like it, and let's see what we can do. Oh, the inspiration for this, guys, when we went out to dinner for my husband's birthday, I'm going to tell you the story about how I came up with this, but let me first give you the measurements. I'll also put the measurements in the video description for you so you can look at that and not have to take notes. But I cut 2 pieces of chipboard that measure 10.5 by 5, and I'm just going to glue them together while I'm talking to make this a little bit thicker and nice and sturdy. And it's going to get covered then with scrapbook paper. So anyway, we went out to dinner for my husband's birthday to the Ford Garage restaurant. He loves Ford. He has Ford trucks. He loves Mustangs. He's a Ford guy. And so anyway, it was a lot of fun, and I may have mentioned it. I can't remember. But the menu, okay, it didn't look exactly like this, but it was this large menu on a really sturdy board of some type. I should have taken a picture of it. And the binding was like this. And then it had like this metal strip here in the holes, and then all the pages creased over for the menu. But I mean, it wasn't tall and skinny. It was, you know, like a big menu. And I started looking at it and I'm like, I could do this. I think I could do this. And so I've been in my crafter and playing with it, and I'm pretty excited about what I came up with. So I hope you guys like it. All right. And you can, of course, lots of variations. If you want it even thicker, you could add another layer. This one, I actually used part of a box that I had, and it was already just nice and thick, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to use these 2 pieces of chipboard, and we'll see how this one turns out. Now, for the size I'm making, I then cut a piece of scrapbook paper because I'm going to wrap it. I'm going to wrap it around. Now, when I get these paper pads, I use the cover and the back cover because they always put something pretty on one side. I don't need to worry about this side because it's not going to be seen. So I'm using this piece to cover it, and then this piece from the Autumn Blush paper kit because I think it coordinates really well and it's pretty. So I love that. There's also an Autumn Blush Fussy Cuts. So if you're interested in that, you know, you could start decorating and doing more with it, or just embellish the pages some. But like I said, I decided after I put it together, at least for now, to use it more for writing and lists and maybe to-dos and things like that. So I'm going to use some of my 2-sided tape on this. I like the paper to get really nice and smooth. So we're going to use a combination of the tape, because there's such a large piece, you know, or section that needs to be glued down. We're going to use a combination of tape and glue. You could probably just do glue if you want to. I'm not sure if I do a glue stick. That's just me. The scrapbook paper I'm using, of course, is high quality and nice and thick, so it would probably be okay, but I'm just going to do it this way, and we will keep going. So thank you for choosing to spend some time with me. I'm glad you guys are here. I really have a lot of fun, and I love your comments, and when you give the videos a thumbs up, yay, thank you. It makes a difference, and it makes me happy knowing you're out there, so thank you. I got a question, so I was going to talk about something. I got a question the other day, and I get this question often, you know, from folks about ways to help creators, whether it's YouTubers or, you know, people on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, who provide content and things like that. And one of my very loyal viewers, you know, was asking about it. I'm going to add just some of this glue on top and in the sections that don't have tape. This gives me some wiggle room when I go to set this down. The wet glue, if I don't get it where I want it, will hopefully give me a chance to adjust it and get all these sections. So anyway, she was saying, you know, how much she appreciated the videos and the tutorials and how much she had learned, and she just wished there was more she could do to support me. And of course, you know, she actually shops at my shop and does all of those things, so that's great, but not everybody has the means and the resources to do that, right? So anyway, I responded, and it was actually an email, because she had thanked me for her Etsy package, and I responded, and I said, you know, it's a good question, because people ask that. So some of the things that I thought of and shared with her, but I just thought, since I get this question, that we'd talk about it for a second while I'm doing this. Now, we're going to miter the corners. This is just a little tool that's not necessary, but it does make sure I don't get too close to the edge when I go to wrap this. So this I got on Amazon, and it is in my Amazon storefront, or one very similar. I don't think they make this exact one anymore, but that does the same thing. Okay, so I'm just cutting the edges off because we're going to wrap it. So a couple things that I thought of, and, you know, all the time I'm like, please give the video a thumbs up. Please leave me a comment. And I say that all the time because it really does matter. And it's free, right? It's free. Now, it's your time, and I get that. And if you don't like something, I certainly understand. Now we're just going to score so we can fold this and wrap easily. You know, I understand. But I think a lot of people almost feel like, you know, I don't know, that they just don't like to hit the thumbs up or something. I'm not quite sure, but it is one of those things, and you think, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal, and it's not. You know, the world goes on. But one thing that happens when people view something but they don't interact at all, or they repeatedly don't interact, it actually tells the algorithm, yeah, you looked at it, but you didn't really like it, right? So like on Instagram especially, you get data on skip rates. So people are scrolling, they look at it, and they keep going, which is fine. That's what we're doing on social media, right? I'm going to add some tape to this. And But if it's a creator or someone that you do want to support, taking that extra second to hit the heart or the thumbs up, if you have time, drop in the comment, that type of thing really does make a difference. And if you continually, you know, I'll sometimes have people pop up and go, oh my gosh, I watch you every day. I love you. This is great, blah, 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 which is wonderful. But all those times, if they were watching every day, if they could have just taken that 1 second and hit the thumbs up, it, you know, really would have made a difference. And I know some of you do that. So of course you do. But that's probably one of the easiest ways to support creators that you like. I have a patron, and this is not a request for y'all to pay and join on Patreon as a paid member. But let me say this, you can of course join as a free member, and there's really not perks for free members except you can see some of the posts, and that's fine. But when I post things, if you are on Patreon, free or paid, and you don't hit the little heart, like I'll see that 100 people saw this post, right? And 2 people gave it a heart, or 1 person commented. Well, again, that's telling Patreon, yeah, people aren't really that jazzed with what she's doing, so they don't show my page to as many people. So again, if you have that second and you think it's interesting content, again, we're just going to add some extra glue over top, and I scored, and we're going to fold this nice and neat. I'm also going to use my nudge the corner trick. So if you're new here, when I'm wrapping something, when you get to this point, if you just nudge the paper over, it's going to help you have a nice crisp edge. Okay, so I do that every time. So if you watch me do that, you'll see. If you watch, you'll see me do that on all of these. So anyway, again, it's not, again, life is going on, and I'm obviously here and doing all of these things, but I think these are things that people that aren't like full-time creators or small business owners using social media to help us with our businesses, you know, maybe don't understand or don't think about. So you know, sometimes it's like I say that all the time, please like the video and leave me a comment, or, you know, interact with my post. And that's why it's just telling the algorithm and the computer that you're interested, you're there, and you'd like to maybe see more of it. And again, I'm not begging for likes. It just, all of these things for my business model, they all build upon each other, because my videos help get people over to my Etsy shop and the things that I make, and my paper packs. My videos are monetized on YouTube. Again, I don't make a lot of money, but it's significant for me, and you know, into my monthly budget. So having more subscribers and more people watching my videos and interacting helps. And it just, again, on this platform, it tells YouTube, yeah, we like it. So if you're one of those people, you know, people go, oh, I lurk, you know, I watch all the time, but I don't, again, that's okay. And I'm glad that you're watching. That's awesome. But if you are interested and have the time to do those things, it makes a big difference. So there you go. That's probably the best way you can support the creators that you enjoy. Okay, so now all this is, but see how nice and sturdy it is? And it's going to be good to bear down on. So like if I'm somewhere and I'm needing to take a note, it's hard, it's sturdy enough that I can do that. Now I cut this piece of paper to fit and cover up this portion. So this piece of paper is 4.5 by 10, because I just wanted the 1/4 of an inch around the edge. And you can ink this. Oh, I printed on both sides. I didn't need to. You could ink on both sides. You know, ink this, ink on both sides. Ha! You can ink on both sides. You can not ink it, you know, whatever you want to do. I'm going to use just glue on this portion and try to get it even and straight. Okay, isn't that a wonderful? Now I make journal covers where I wrap them and do things like this. But again, the next part of this is a little different. All right, so now we have the backing. We need to make this strip, okay? So again, I cut 2 pieces of chipboard. And you can use, if it's the size that you want, a cracker box, a cereal box, any of those things. These are 3/4 of an inch by 10.5. So they're the same height as my base, and 3/4 of an inch, because they're going to end up going here. All right. So let's glue them together. Okie dokie. And then we're going to wrap them. And so, oh, I don't think I cut paper to wrap these. Oh my goodness, we're going to have to go grab a piece of paper. And I definitely, well, I don't know. I may use just the same one. It may look really good like that because whatever page I pick from these pages will be the front. So if I use the same paper, it'll be this one, and I can decide. I was going to tell you guys too, the inside pages, I'll go ahead and give you the measurements. You want these to be 4 3/4 by 10. And it's because they're going to go all the way over to the edge like this. So then you get that 1/4 inch all the way around, and then your piece here is going to be there, right? I cut 1, 2, 3 that I printed out the wrong size. They're too narrow. So we're just not going to have as many pages in this one because I didn't realize it until I was ready to film, and I didn't have time and decided it would be okay. All right, so let's use the same piece of paper. I still have this strip. So for this one, I want to wrap it, and I know this is 3/4 inch. Let's see. And I'm gonna have to go over to my big trimmer and get this trimmed up. Give me 1 sec. It will end up being 2 inches. And I'll just leave it at 12 for now. So 2 by 12, and we'll see how we do. And again, it was part of the cover. Yeah, if it's too long, I'll trim it off with my scissors as we go. Now you're only gonna see the one side, so if this doesn't wrap perfectly, it's okay. This is a small piece. We could use the tape as well, but I'm just gonna use glue. It's not as big of a surface to cover. All right, straight as possible. Give it some time to stick. I really like this terracotta color and the pattern. It's one of my favorite paper kits, the backgrounds, but just the kit itself. I need to get another pack of it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so this is going to end up, when I use my little miter tool, you know, being a point. That's okay. You'll see here in a second. Is it so skinny? Get this cut off. All right, let me put that away so I don't lose it. These corners. Okay, again, I find it easier if I go ahead and score right along that chipboard to help it fold some. If you guys have ideas of how to help support creators that are free too, let me know. Again, I had no idea when I started on this journey. You know, I've always loved crafting, and it was my daughter Sarah who's like, Mom, you should start an Instagram account. And I did, and started getting a few followers here and there, and was working full-time at the time, right? Okay, let's glue one side down and see where we're at. And then people started asking me to make videos, and oh, do you have a tutorial showing us how you did that? And I was like a mess and nervous, and I had no idea, because learning all the social media and then also getting comfortable being on camera and learning how to, I'm still learning. There's so much to learn with these platforms. I think I'm going to fold both sides, and then we'll do the ends. So yeah, and it's been a journey, and it's been, I don't know, since like 2021. So it hasn't been that long, I guess, but it feels like it's been a long time. And I've made new friends, and I have this fabulous design team now. And, you know, we're just having a lot of fun. So thank you guys. All right, I'm going to nudge corners. I haven't nudged any yet because I haven't folded any over, but let's look and make sure we like. See, what you don't want, or I don't want, is I don't want to see that little bit hanging out. So I always like to just check them, especially if I know they're going to, you know, be visible before I do too much of the gluing. There we go. That's fun. Oops, nudge. Nudge first, glue second. So I think everyone was kind of laughing at me when we were at dinner the other night because I was inspecting the menu not to decide what to eat, but because I wanted to see the construction of it. And they were pretty, you know, it was a very substantial menu. Of course, just choice-wise, there were so many things to look at, but just the feel of it. And I'm sure, oh, and theirs had, they didn't have ribbon on theirs. Theirs had those bolty screw things, which I think you can buy like on Amazon. You know, some hardware. I could probably look for hardware to use on these. But, and you would use a screwdriver to undo it. And of course, it's a Ford garage themed restaurant, so that makes sense, right? Oh, this is so cute. Anyway, and so when their menu changes, they can just open them up and use the backboard and then change whatever they need to or change out the pages they need to. So I thought that was really fascinating. Okay, so far this is looking really good. Now, the next thing I need to do is decide. Oh, I just hit the camera. Sorry, everybody. I did 3 holes. All right. So we were going to do 3 holes, and I'm trying to remember what I did. I'm going to mark it on the back. But, okay, it is 10.5. So the center, 10.5 inches. The center is 5.25 inches. So I'm going to mark that. I'm going to try to be right in the middle. And then, how far did I come up? This worked pretty well. 1.5 inches. Okay, so from each end, we're going to mark at 1.5 inches. So this one, 1.5 is at 9 inches. Okay, I can see those. I don't know if you guys can. I hope you can. But now this is thick. I'm going to use my Crocodile. I don't know where other Crocodile is, so I'm using Big Bite. The other one, the puncher works, but setting the eyelets on that one doesn't work. This one can do both. Who knows, right? All right, hopefully I got these pretty straight. Now with the ribbon I used, if they were off just a smidge, it would be okay because it kind of covers it up. Now, the other thing is I tweaked my design a little bit because on this one, I didn't cut my paper really the correct width. So don't worry about that. On the new one I did. But this is going to go just like that. I'm excited. All right, now on this one, how many pages did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did 8. And I planned to do 8 until I cut them the wrong size. So 1, 2, 3. We'll do 5. It'll be okay. Now, again, I'm going to pick the one I want to be on the front. I always go for this page. This is probably one of my favorite ones in the whole kit. This would be pretty as well. This is pretty. They're all pretty. Oh, it's so hard to choose. Okay. I think I'm going to go with this. And then later, if I want to decorate a little bit, I can. I'm also going to tell you guys about these corners. I know I'm whispering like it's a secret, but I'm going to show them to you and tell you where I got them here in a sec. Okay. I'm not going to worry about too much inking. So this time, though, when I do my papers, I'm going to have the pretty one on the front. And then I'm going to flip it around where I do the right, you know, the neutral paper when you turn the page. I did a couple of different kinds. So we'll see. I'm just trying to decide what paper to go next. All right, I'll do this one and then this one. I don't think these have direction. Okay, 5 pages. So now, when we open it, we'll see this to write on. Pretty, right, pretty, right, pretty, and then right. And I can add more later when I cut more papers. And I will show you. You'll see what I mean in a minute. All right. Now, it is important that I get the holes punched in the same place. All right. So I am going to take what's going to be my cover page, and I'm going to line it up where I want it all the way to this left edge. Turn it this. I was turning it that way because it was easier for me to see. Okay, all the way to the left edge, so it looks like we have the same distance around. We need to know what is the top of this. I didn't talk about that. This is the back side, so I will use a marker because we won't see it. And I'm gonna hit a P so I don't get confused. All right, that's the top. And I'm gonna line this up exactly where I'm gonna want to have it, holding it very securely, getting my pencil out. And again, I'm doing a little dot. All right, it's the top. Okay, now I'm gonna stack these papers together. And I'm gonna go ahead and clip them in case I slip, right? Better safe than sorry. And we will punch them all at the same time. I don't know if you guys can see my holes, but again, I can, so I think I'm okay. I almost punched in the wrong place. There was a dot on the paper that looked like my pencil mark. All right. I think that's all the hole punching. Okay, now. Oh, I didn't punch through the board. You got to punch through this board too. Well. All right, so again, this is the top, all the way to the edge. This time, I'm going to use that marker because I want to make sure I see the hole really well. Okay, we got to punch through the board. And again, you can, with a crocodile, you can go through quite a few layers. With this board, I think I need to do it by its, well, maybe I could have done it with the pages since I only had 5, but just, you know, make your marks and then just be careful and you will get through it. Okay. There we go. Now, hopefully everything is going to line up nicely. There we go. Top. And it is looking good, y'all. Okay, now, the next thing to do, I'm going to use a binder clip to help me hold this together, just to make it a little easier when I go to do the ribbon, hopefully. I think I want it down just a smidge. Okay. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Now we need to pick out a ribbon, which I haven't done yet because I wasn't sure what the front was going to be. I'm going to use some of this Sari Silk, one of these. Here I did the green as a contrast. This would keep it all very much in that same color family, wouldn't it? I like this with a little bit of purple. I don't know how that would do with the other pages. So many, I'm so fortunate to have all these choices, right? There's another pretty green that has a little bit of that peach in it. That would probably do well, right? Why don't I, do I want the contrast? I think I want the contrast. You know me, I'm gonna almost always go for something green when I can. Let's see if I like it now that I'm looking at it like this. If I don't like it, I can change it. And that's the cool thing about this. So let's not worry too much. Okay. I am going to try to just find an end. Now, I did discover my little pencil here to have the lead pushed in. Does a really good job of helping pull that through. Look at that. Yay. Now, you have to have enough left to tie your bow. Let me tell you how long this is. It may be longer than what we need, but I'm going to at least let you know what we're starting with. Okay, that's 23 inches. It's like 22 inches. 22 inches, okay? Now, just like with the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, I decided to start from the top, come through to the back. I'm going to leave some to tie a bow and hope that that's about approximately the right amount. We can adjust it as we go. We're going to come up through this back hole. And again, find something to help you, whatever ribbon you can use. The crinkled seam binding would be cute if you have a long enough piece. There's just lots of choices. You could use twine. I think any of that would probably work. Come through that way. Okay, so now we're through the top hole, skip the middle hole, and come down the bottom hole and out to the back again. All right. I'm going to let that one go for now. Now we are going to come back up through this same hole. So all I did was I kind of, see how I've grabbed the end and I kind of pulled it up to help the hole have a little bit of room there. And again, I can pull it through. All right. Now let's see. One is a little longer than the other, but it'll probably be okay. If not, we'll adjust it in a sec. Okay, so now I'm pulling it nice and snug. I have one on either side. This is underneath on either side, right? Because then when I go to tie here, oh, my ribbon just tore. Did you hear it? Goodness. Gotta be careful, Pam. I pulled way too hard. This may be a reason not to use this ribbon. Okay, and then we're just gonna tie a bow. Now, because that one tore, I'm going to be a little anxious, right? Because then we can trim it off. But now I've got a very fragile piece. But let's just look at it, and then I'm going to show you because you really can switch the paper. Let me get these off. So, oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't score my pages. Guys, I usually lay these in the scoreboard and score the paper at 3/4 of an inch so that you get a really nice crease. That's what I did on these. Didn't do it on this one. I think it's okay, but you can score your paper before you put it together. Again, I'm going to take this one apart, so I could also score it at that point. But see how now the part that I really want to write on is on the right and my pretty patterns are on the left. Okay, let's undo it. So let's say you've used this isn't a knot. I just pulled it snugly. You used your pages and for your lists or whatever, and you want to add other paper. You could probably do a cover that's a little more sturdy. I really did pull that tight, didn't I? A little more sturdy if you don't want to just have a paper on there, and then put lined paper. I mean, it would be cute again for just a notebook. There we go. Next time I'm not going to pull quite so hard. So all you have to do is pull your ribbon out and take your journal apart and then add new papers, right? This one will be perfect for something else, but that's gonna cause me stress, so we're gonna replace that ribbon. So let me show you real quick, since I forgot to do this, sorry y'all, at the beginning. I just laid each piece in my scoreboard. I keep dropping this. And I scored it at 3/4 of an inch. And then when you go, why does that not look straight? when you go to fold it in your notebook or your journal or whatever we're calling this project, it is much easier to do than what I was trying to do. So once you know you have your papers the way you want them, you can score and then punch your hole. Or if you forget like me, you can just fold it over or you can take it apart and do this. So here we are. Everything's fixable, right? That's what we talk about all the time. It's just paper and we really can fix things. Okay, so let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully I didn't flip any of these around. If the holes don't line up, I don't know that I did. All right, they line up. Everything's looking good. I'm gonna line it back up. So again, now we can pretend, oh yeah, we used up our pages. Let's take it apart and add some new ones, right? Get everything to line back up. And then I'm gonna use my binder clip. And then I promise I'm gonna show you those corner things in just a second. Okay, I'm going to not sit here and dig through. I'm just gonna use one of the peach ones. And I'm gonna be a little more gentle this time. Okay, you can fast forward if you don't wanna watch me do this again, but we are going to go through the center hole, leave a tail, come up through the top hole in the back, pull it towards the front, skip the center hole, come down through the bottom hole out to the back. There we go. And then again, kind of pull that a little snug to give you a little more working room with your hole. Get a little bit through there, Pam. You got this. And again, depending on the ribbon you choose, it may not be as snug as mine is. But there we go. Once you get it going, it's not a problem. Okay, that tail, again, I want it to be a little bit longer. So let me think of what I have to do. There we go. Now this time, as I pull this, it's good enough. I'm not going to be quite so like, oh my gosh, let's pull hard. But that looks good, right? Nice and even. Runaway threads. All right, and then we're gonna just tie a bow. And I'm gonna trim this off. Cute. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, now you can see this edge where you can see the pages, and of course it could get a little bit chunkier if you add more pages. And now that I remembered to score my pages, see how much easier they are opening. This would be cute. Like I said, you could do lines, or we could do some like alphabets and some tabs and make it an address book. So cute. Okay, the corners, look at this. So these were sent to me by IB, and again, I'm an affiliate for them. That's some dragonfly paper. And I kind of forgot that I had them, and then I thought, oh, these are gonna be so pretty on the corners, at least on the first page. So I'll have the IB link. That's where I get all the washi tape and stuff. I'll have the IB link, and you can look if you want some fun decorative corners. And they're laser cut. This is the one I used on the first one, which is really pretty. I think that one would be gorgeous. What do y'all think of this one? Oh gosh, I wish I could hear you guys because I'm sure someone is saying, ooh, let's see what the daisy looks like. That's pretty. So I did pick, ooh, look at that one. I did pick based on kind of the color palette, but there's the blues. This has like butterflies. That would be pretty too with that green right there. And then here's some more golds and flowers. Hard to decide. I think I'm going to go with this one a little bit darker. Just like that. Okay, so they are paper die cuts, so they're not stickers. So, you know, if you have one of those sticker machines we used to use when we were scrapbook and do all the little tiny letters, remember that? I have one somewhere. You could run it through your sticker machine, but I'm just going to glue it down. Oh, just to give it a little extra. And like I said, I could have done a cover on, instead of the 90 pound, I could have done like 110 pound, or I could have done like my wax paper technique and covered it to make it have a nice texture and thickness. So, you know, lots of things that we could do to take this little project, I think, to the next level if we wanted to. Okay, I am just thrilled that I went to the Ford Garage restaurant and got to make this. You know what I just looked at? Look at these corners that I chopped off. That might have been cute too. If you don't have these corners, the corners when you're wrapping your paper, we could have used. This is the one, or these are the larger ones too. Oh, how cute. The little ones were from when I wrapped this, and this is from when I wrapped the back. All right, so something to think about if you don't have those fancy corners I just showed you. Okay, I hope you like it. I hope you will make one and tell me what you think. The other thing I thought of, and I don't have the measurements for you guys, we could do one when we bind at the top and it could flip open that way for a notepad. Ah, so cute, right? I really think that would be cool too, because then you wouldn't have, you know, such a big edge that you're flipping. It would just be up at the top and you could write. So I may have to make one like that too. Okay, have fun. And until next time, get crafty, and I will see you soon. Thanks, everybody.